Think we're good to get started. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us today for another Defender user group. Officially, we have been doing this for exactly 1 year. I want to thank everybody for continuing to join, to try to expand the community, but also to try to get more information out about Microsoft security and what it can actually do in your environments. Uh, just want to remind everybody about the Chatham House rules and how they apply. There's meeting part of there is held under the Chatham House rules. Participants are free to use the information received, but neither the identity nor the affiliation of the speakers nor any of the other participants may be revealed. If you would like to become a member, if you haven't already, to our Defender user group, please take and scan this QR code. This will take you straight to LinkedIn to be able to join the group itself. We are looking at adding some additional things this next year around the group just to try to help bridge some more information in for you guys and stuff to help kind of grow the community a little bit more. Give everybody a couple of seconds to actually try to get that URL code as well. And then if you are not familiar with this group and you're joining for the first time, we are Microsoft Defender user group that is community driven around the focus of sharing knowledge, best practices, real world experiences related to Microsoft Defender and Microsoft Security, which is Microsoft's most comprehensive security solutions for protecting endpoints, identities, and information. So we will be taking and trying to grow the content and information as we go as well. If you need to contact us, you can reach out to the email that's on the screen, and we'll be happy to respond back to you. If you have ideas around a session that you would like to hear as well, please feel free to email us through this or contact us through the user group as well. We'll be happy to take those in. And then for a podcast, if you guys haven't heard of the podcast about Defend Your Time, this is another URL that you can scan to kind of give you something that you can listen to in the background so you're not having to listen or play a video. This is something that you can actually take and listen to in your own free time or even while you're at work, give you some insights on things that are happening that are security related or things that you might want to know about, just some free, easy listening. Want to introduce our guest speaker today. So our guest speaker is Alp Babayigit. He is a solution area specialist and a global black belt with Microsoft Security. And we are looking forward to what he's going to be presenting today. So the agenda is we're going to look at optimizing Defender for Cloud and effective multi-cloud security, best practices for threat detection, prevention, or response, some real-world scenarios around Microsoft Defender for Cloud in action, and then some Ignite 2024 highlights to keep you ahead of the multi-cloud security piece. Alf, I'll turn it over to you now.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Let me try to share my screen, and this hope it worked. Can everyone see my screen? Perfect. So as Daniel mentioned, yeah, my name is Alp Babayigit. I work at Microsoft and looking for customers on the multi-cloud journey. And I'm sales specialist. And yeah, today in the session, especially, I would like to really, talk a little bit about customer scenarios where they already started the journey with Microsoft technologies. They have, let's say, bunch of on-premises stuff they already onboarded in your Microsoft XDR stack. Then maybe potentially also using a little bit the cloud workload protection from Microsoft Cloud Security Posture Management, and then how they can bring really the on-prem and cloud work together. And this is something I will talk about our latest innovation on the attack surface management today. Before I start, I would like to have one poll here. Did you heard about the latest GA announcement regarding the Microsoft Security Exposure Management? Is this something what you already recognized or read in the blog post or something from Microsoft? The first poll before we start.
That attack surface is now included, or?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yep,
right.
sure.
That's good. We have a lot of no's and a lot of yes for sure. Yeah, but let's start. Let's look. What we want to address with this topic and what we are really looking forward. Right. Um, you know, before we start with the session, right, I want to really highlight one topic, which is really top of mind of customers, and this is also one reason why we have the exposure management. One of the topics what's really our customers makes really concerned is about that for the attackers they are not thinking in list or whatever, they're really thinking in graph. uh, they are really able, to compromise your end user network, right? And then from there, they can really laterally move to the cloud world, right? And when you think about how sophisticated these attacks are, and how, it's how they are capable to do this, and we see really often that the two worlds, right? What we see, the end user world and the cloud world in customers' organizations are really disconnected, right? You have sometimes, groups they are using, they are really looking to the end user space, when you have some people they are using to the cloud, but these words are really disconnected, right? And I would like to ask you, on the second poll right here, what is your experience, right, from an organization perspective? Are these both words are really disconnected? Are they really operating independently from each other? Or are they using different solutions between the end user and cloud world? Just to really know what's your experiences. That's good, yeah. Yeah, I see. I actually 50-50 what you are really voting. But actually, from my point of view, right, when we think about these things, two applies actually. I could also say multiply. You can have the multiple choices as well in this case. But this is actually the fact, right? When I talk to my customers, really the cloud world and user world are really operating independently. And then sometimes a customer has also different tools what they're using for their end user and from cloud perspective. Of course, then if you have this in your organization, then it's really hard for organization really to tackle this sophisticated attacks when it's really coming from the end user and then laterally moving to the cloud, what I mentioned. But let's look forward. The primary reason I think what we see is like, the defenders, we are thinking in lists, right? We have an organization, right? We build everything, but the attacker thinks really in graph, right? And that's really one of the effects we see. It's called silo effect. And this is really the challenge, what we want to really address, how we can really bring both worlds together. And that's the reason, from a Microsoft perspective, what we are not at the Ignite, we are really investing in two areas, right? The really prime interest of Microsoft is now we want to bring really the pre-breach capabilities and the post-breach capabilities together. And what does it mean actually? If we want to make sure, it doesn't matter if it's cloud, doesn't matter the end user experience, we want to bring, let's say, the prevention capabilities, let's say in a single place, as well as the from a SOC perspective. And this is what we are really looking forward to bring these worlds together, that customers are really able, to see kind of a flow what I showed you before, right? And from the pre-breach perspective, from a prevention perspective, exactly that's this new product what we have. It's called the Microsoft Exposure Management. This is exactly what we want to really address these capabilities. This is working, and let's think about you have an attack, surfaces, doesn't matter if it's an on-prem or the cloud, or even could be kind of a third-party experience. We want to really bring all the stuff in one place together. And let's talk a little bit about, how we want to address this and how we are really looking forward to use the exposure management. First of all, the challenge what customers has, let's say, when you have different products, which it's acting for the attack surface, right? You have vulnerability management capabilities. You have maybe using CMDB database. Maybe you have some type of products from the cloud, and then how you can bring all the stuff together. First of all, when we think about exposure management has the capability to have the data collection, right? That we can collect data from every place. It doesn't matter if this, in this case, Tenable, Qualys, Microsoft Threat Management, posture management, and normalize them, right? This is very important because when you think about today of the solutions, right? You have a lot of solutions in your place as an example, then you want to really collect all the related data. And then the exposure management will take all the insights from this product, like the SS management, like the configuration data, what we have, policy state, recommendations, all the stuff. And when we have this, we will, make a normalization and all the enrichment what is needed. Think about the vulnerability management solution. When you collect all the data, you will see the client name, you will see potentially all the vulnerabilities. This will get in the exposure management, and it will be normalized. That, as an example, the device which is reflected in the vulnerability management, it's the same what is really in, as an example, in the endpoint security, right? Really want to really map this all together for the customer, enrich it, and get all the insights from the individual products here as well. The next thing what we do is actually we are doing the mapping of these entities, right? And once we collect all the data, we will see, okay, I have this device, I have my users in my environment, I have my cloud workloads and so forth. And we will build this graph. It's called Unified Entities Graph, which means all the entities will be part of this graph that we can really use it for the purpose of the specific product. When I know, as an example, I have my device, perfect, I have my users, and then I can build my graph and then use for all the insights. Once we have the unified entities, the next step is really thinking about how we can really look for the risk and make them actionable for the customers. I mentioned, right? You have the vulnerabilities from your vulnerability management. You have the posture management, and you want to put all them here together. And you can see some in this graph, we can really map these entities together and then really highlight all the risks, as well as we can show you kind of a graph where you can see where the risks are, let's say, for the specific workloads in your environment. Think about a virtual machine here. You see the virtual machine is here, and this virtual machine is internet exposed, has public IP address, but however, this virtual machine has somehow lateral movement possibility to another one, and from this VM you can be, let's say, be connected to a let's say a storage account which senses the data in. And that's the reason why we are building this graph. When we build this graph, and then we can really show the customer exactly the attack surface, what I mentioned, really from that stage as well. When we collect all the data, you can see, we're collecting CMDB database, vulnerability management, enrich them, and then it will land in the exposure management product. And this is exactly what the exposure management here will do in our environment. Then let's talk about the main capabilities of the exposure management. The exposure management, first of all, as I mentioned, we want to really make sure, that all the related data is discovered in your environment. And then, of course, we need to understand, which assets you have, which recommendations. And then we want to really highlight the risks in your environment. And in your environment, what I mean, doesn't matter if it comes from on-prem, from the cloud, third party, or Microsoft product. And it's exactly the purpose of this, the exposure management from Microsoft. Let's deep dive a little bit on the capabilities. Like we have the attack surface management capabilities. In that, we are mentioned, you can see also the graph on the right side. You see, we map the identities, we know exactly which device we are looking for. And I also mentioned before that we have the possibility to also, ingest data from CMDB database. I can also give more insights. It is not just the assets. We can also, let's say, enrich the specific assets. And of course, we have the possibility to connect data from different ecosystems. And of course, you have also the possibility in this product that you can really highlight from your perspective what is critical assets. Maybe you want to really say, okay, I have specific, let's say, devices in my environment, and I want to flag this as a critical asset. And when this is a critical asset flag, then it will be also highlighted in this product as well. And of course, the attack surface map. This is the map what we want to build for you and that you have really all the insights in your environment. I think we talked a little bit much right now. Let's a little bit to come a little bit to the demo. In the demo, I would like to highlight you first of all the portal that you can see how the data is presented, and I will also highlight some points where customer challenged us from the past where we didn't have these capabilities. Then I will also explain a little bit about the data source collection, how we can collect the data. Then also we'll look on the graph, what is really the graph, how the graph experience looks like. And then, of course, I will like to also give you kind of an overview about the attack concept of the attack part in this product. First of all, when we have the capabilities, what we need to do is actually we need to really just go to the security.microsoft.com portal, right? This is the XDR portal where let's say we have it for many years, and then we are putting more and more services in relates of the security together. And here you have one area, it's called exposure management, right? You should have this because this product is right now GA, and then you should have this. If you are using already, as an example, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Identity, right? And then or Cloud Security Posture Management, then you should have already insight about your exposure. Because as I mentioned, right, this product will bring, all the insights, doesn't matter if it's on-prem or cloud or IoT even, in one place. And that's the reason why you have this nice place. And even you are not using exposure management, you should have the insights if you are using one of the products what I mentioned. This overview, it's great. You can see as an example how many devices you have in your environment, how many cloud workloads, and how many identities you have in your environment. And you can see the devices details coming from the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. Cloud resources is coming from Cloud Security Management, Posture Management from Microsoft, and the entities you will get from the Microsoft Defender for Identity. And then you will see as an example the key initiatives. I will explain this later what this look like. You have initiatives on the ransomware protection, endpoint security, business email compromise, and cloud security. There are a lot of initiatives also available, but you can see the key initiatives and where you are staying with these initiatives. But exposure management does also, as I mentioned, right, we are collecting the data, the entities. When we map them, we will get all the insights, all the recommendation and vulnerabilities, and based on the insights what we are getting, we can map it with the initiatives here as well. Then you can see attack surface map here, all the details, security events, what you're looking for, really great insights, where you should have the focus around. Where are my critical assets? Where are my critical devices? Then, of course, summary about the attack part. You can see nice graph, how many attack parts you had in the past, time, kind of a summary and time series analysis and all the stuff, what you are looking for, like common entries, how many, let's say, the devices are exposed, which of them are risky, and so forth in your environment. This is really great overview for the customers that you can really see where the high risk is, where you should have the focus in your environment. Please,
we
yes.
do have a question in the
Yeah,
chat
please.
from Cohen. He's asking, can you address how the attack surface map should be used, the center part of your current screen?
Can you address how the attack surface map should be used? Yeah, of course. If there's an attack surface, then of course I'm able to adjust this. I'm also able to, let's say, not customize, but to drill down in the attack surface as well, right? This is also possible, as you highlighted in this area. Was this question in different direction, or was this right answered? If we unmute. Maybe in the next demo, I will have this insights as well. Then think about how we can collect the data. For the data collector, you are just clicking on the left side. You can see the data connectors, and one of the advantage, as I mentioned, for the exposure management is the the capabilities for Microsoft, it's already connected, right? When you are using, as an example, the endpoint protection, identity, cloud apps, all the vulnerability management from Microsoft, like you will see you will see actually these are already out of the box connected, right? But however, it can happen, right, that you have a third-party products in your environment. Let's say you want to collect here in the exposure management, the ServiceNow CMDB database. It's helpful because only with the assets, but it's highlighted in your product potential not enough. You want to bring also the insights from your CMDB database, like you want to have an integration with Qualys, Rapid7, Tenable. There are other products, but we have also on the roadmap, but we highlight, but there will be opportunity for customers, to bring third party also in, and that you have the possibility, to bring the attack surface. It doesn't matter if it's Microsoft or from the third party perspective here together. Another thing what I would like to highlight is the graph, how the graph looks like. First of all, when I want to look the graph, right, I'm just going to the map here, and then here I can type the name of the asset, right? Just think about this. The name of the asset is just a web server, and it's just a virtual machine. And this virtual machine is hosted in, doesn't matter, it could be on-prem, it could be in GCP, AWS, Azure, doesn't matter, right? And you can just click it, and then it will open the graph for you. When you open this graph, and you will see actually all the dependent entities of the specific web server. I see as an example here, there's an IP address is associated. I can see as an example, here there's a credential file is stored. I can see a lot of services around this specific web server, all the insights what I'm looking for. Then what you can do is actually in the graph, you can just click here. Once you click, and you will get all the details, like you will get the general details, like where the asset is, what is the web server, additional insights. And of course, you can see top vulnerabilities, because this device has vulnerabilities, as you can see here here, a lot of vulnerabilities, and you can drill down in these vulnerabilities. And what you can also do is actually, because I see here some critical stuff, like I see this is the web server, I see this is a credential file, and I want to really look, where is really the lateral movement part, where I really should have the focus on, by saying, as an example here, right click, show me the blast radius. You can just click to those blast radius, and then this will be opened, right? And you can see exactly, thanks to the graph, we are able to map it. You can see as an example, this is the credential file, which was let's say, is stored on the web server. With this credential file, you can see there's a risk, right? I'm able really to laterally move if an attacker would gain access to the specific virtual machine which has vulnerabilities. Then you would see the credential file, and then if an attacker would have this credential file, then he can really laterally move in your environment. And you can see this is the credential file here, and you see they can authenticate to the specific server, and from this server, right, contains another credential file, and with this another credential file, you can connect to another one, and of course, this specific file, the server here, can authenticate to this specific storage account. You can see exactly, what is the lateral movement part, and where you should have the focus, and to remediate it. And basically, what you should not allow is really storing credentials files in a specific on the server, right? This is something you should really take care. And you see other insights as well from the blast radius perspective as well. And it's really very useful. Doesn't matter which entities, you can really say, hey, show me the blast radius, and you will get only the insights, what is already mapped in the attack in this specific graph, what I showed you before. Then this is the individual investigation what you can do. You can do the investigation for identity as well. You can say, as an example, I want to investigate in Alp's identity, right? You can search the identity, say, okay, what is the behind, what is the dependencies in the environment, and then say, show me the blast radius, and then you will get all the details about this environment here as well. Another point, what I would like to highlight is the attack path. Attack path is very big concept from Microsoft. And you will see the attack path on the left side here. It's called attack paths. And we will consolidate all the attack path insights in this place. Right? So you could have an attack path, especially in cloud security posture management. area. You could have an attack path, from the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, from the identity perspective, and you will make sure that all the attack paths will be consolidated here. And then later stage, there will be also an attack path where we cross correlation, like we will be able to correlate this from an on-prem perspective, to the cloud perspective. And this is something where we are also working on and looking forward here as well. You can see as an example how many attack paths do I have in my environment. Then I can see what are the critical assets here, and then the top targets where I should have the focus here. What I can also do is actually I can say as an example, these are the attack paths, and show me the attack paths that I have in my environment, and then I will get a here nice list, and then let's pick one of them out. You can see here as an example, external exposed VMs. Then let's drill down to this one. You can see the graph here. You can see the insights. It takes time, and then I can say view map, and then it will forward it to me to the specific website, and then it will open all the attack part inside what I have, right? And it will summarize me as an example what are the really the risk what I have with this specific attack path. It will summarize me, the potential lateral movement parts and all the stuff what is highlighted. Hopefully it will get in seconds here. It could be also the demo effect here as well. You see, like you can see it as an example. Same here, you see this is a web server again, high critical access. This is something what the organization did by themselves. And of course there are the vulnerabilities, and you can see the credential files stored, and then you can have a, let's say, lateral movement to another specific web server. And from here, again, no problem. You can do blast radius investigation, or you can say as an example, like show me other related entities for the specific web server, really to look left and right and analyze what you need in it for the specific purpose here as well. This was actually short from the XSPM overview. How you can collect data, what is right now possible. As I mentioned, we are looking for the Microsoft sources are already onboarded. You don't need to connect them. Third party, of course, we need to connect. Then, of course, the graph, you can investigate in individual entities in your environment, which are collected by the specific solution, and of course, and then you have the attack path analysis, where you can really look forward and investigate further. Let's look a little bit further on the slides. I would like to highlight some other topics as well. As I mentioned, right, we are also looking for to the specific initiatives, right, and all insights, right. You have to think about exposure management, maybe also not about the technical. You can also address with this tool also business risk, right. Maybe you are also looking, from a strategic point of view, to reduce the attack surface what you have in the infrastructure, and that's the reason. For this purpose, we have the security initiatives, right? We have the security initiatives that customer can use. There are several initiatives available. There are domain initiatives available, threat initiatives available. And then, of course, the metrics, what is inside, where it's built by the exposure management and all the recommendations, what we are looking for. And how this looks like? First of all, we have the domain-specific initiatives. The domain-specific initiatives is really more on the side. As an example, I'm really looking for the attack surfaces which relates to my specific endpoint, cloud security, zero trust aspects, sys foundation, or other benchmarks. But I have an external attack surface. Or also, I'm looking on the side from an attacker's perspective, how I'm really measured from the attack surface management perspective for specific type of ransomware protection, business email compromise scenarios, and so forth. This is also a great opportunity for the customer to see, okay, how my organization, is prepared, for specific ransomware protection or business email compromise, or even I'm really looking for the sys perspective and really on the compliance perspective for this topic here as well. What we also have additionally to the domain initiatives, we have also the threat initiatives, which gives me the opportunity, as an example, to say, okay, there are specific type of threat actors in the market, and we are measuring, your attack surface against this specific threat vector. As an example, Octo Tempest, you can see as an example here, just an example, what we are doing is actually, we know actually what Octo Tempest is doing. We have the threat intelligence insight from Microsoft. We know, which settings are, used by the specific actor, which techniques and tactics, and then we can map this really to the specific actor, and then really measure all the matrix what is related here for the purpose of this specific actor. And this is something which is also great. It's not a technical perspective, really looking for from a business perspective, which makes the Microsoft Security Exposure Management also more usable for the customers as well. Let's look a little bit on the security initiatives. I would like to highlight also a demo, because once we have the open this dashboard, then you are again on the exposure management area. You are looking for the exposure insights. Then I can go to the initiatives, right? Then click as an example. Then you see two type of initiatives here, and you can also see again, right, all the initiatives, what was highlighted in this in the landing page, like the attack surface protection, ransomware protection, and so forth. And what you can do is actually you can see 40-day trend, and then you can see the initiative name, what its score, and then which workload telemetry are measured against the specific initiative. And then you can see, how I'm doing in the last 14 days, and then the last update, which last update means, we are when we did this, the time actually when the measuring counts. Let's look. You can just click here, and you can see there are 17 security recommendations, here available, and you can see all of them, right? You can see as an example, non-compliant, that's user without multi-factor authentication. You see all the process, and then how I'm measuring, and based on the insights and based on the recommendations and all the, let's say, related context, and you will have the measurement for the specific business email compromised initiative here. And you can also drill down. You can just say, click it here. It takes a little bit of time. You can see the security matrix, right? Then you will, of course, the security matrix includes also somehow of the recommendations. You can see all the recommendation which relates to the initiatives, and also details about the history. Today, you have, of course, the templates are predefined for the customers, but you can also think about, it could be in the future something like you have your own initiatives, and then you can take all the matrix which are available in your environment, and then map it, and then you can build your own initiatives, and which makes really powerful for the customers here as well. When we go to initiatives, then we can see not just the domain, also you see the threat initiatives, and then as I mentioned, we have the threat actor profile, right? You can see as an example, let's take this one, doesn't matter, right? You can click here and then open the initiative, and then the same approach will apply to this as well. And then you will see all the recommendations, and you can see all the stuff what you're really looking for. And the nice thing is also good that you have the threat actor profile. You can click here as an example, then you will be forwarded directly to the threat intelligence from Microsoft, and then of course you can get more insights about this specific threat actor here as well. Right? You can see the overview, initiatives, and then all the details what you would here really looking for. Right. Yes, this from the initiatives here, and as I mentioned, right, the initiative includes recommendations and matrix, and then if you want to really look, then you can drill down here from the matrix here as well. Right. As mentioned again, these are the default templates. Think about it, could be very powerful when we are also looking forward to give customers the opportunity to have their own initiatives, and then really power the insights there. Then looking forward to my slides here. Sometimes, what customers asking me, what is supported from a Microsoft perspective, and you can see exactly the stuff here. We have the vulnerability management, attack surface management from Microsoft, where there's a product which gives customer the, let's say, inside, outside, in. You are measuring the environment from the outside, right? And then you can, if you are using the external attack surface management, you can bring it also in. Then threat intelligence from Microsoft in CMDB database, you can bring it in identity posture and all the stuff what relates here. It's out of the box available for customers here as well. And one of the hero products what we have is the vulnerability management, because when you customer install the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint and Defender for Server, the vulnerability, the asset, the software inventory, and then of course the mapping the software inventory with the vulnerabilities are also included. And then this will be part of this of the let's say recommendations here with this with the attack surface with the solution here as well. And this is something what you can also leverage here as well. Of course, our posture management, if we are really looking to the misconfiguration and vulnerabilities from my cloud environment, there we have the product. It's called Defender for Defender Cloud Security Posture Management. These insights will be also available in this specific solution. And of course, all the attack paths and all the insights you can also consume from there as well. And Microsoft XDR, I showed you the portal. You see the insights from insights will be available in the XDR portal, security.microsoft.com. And as well as if customers are looking to, let's say, flag specific entities as critical, as you need it, like you want to flag specific storage accounts as critical, specific server, then you have to do it from this portal as well. And you can give them a kind of a criticality. And if the criticality is there, then you have also the visibility. When you see kind of an attack path or blast radius, and you will see, wow, here, this is something where I should really take care because it's a critical asset in my environment. And this is exactly how the integration comes together. Then another point what I would like to highlight is, customers asking me, the asset inventory and third party, of course, we are really looking forward to bring third party integration as well. And there are some roadmaps, items, what we are really looking for. And this could be really of interest of the customers when you have the third party integration here as well. My last poll today, just the last question now, what you think about the security exposure management? Is this an interesting concept? Could this help you, or would you get benefit out of it? And just want to know from the session today what your thoughts are. That's good. I don't see no. That's really good. In this case. But however, right, really think about what it is. Really think about how you can start. As I mentioned, for customers, when you have the security.microsoft.com, of course, you should have this. Then you can use the exposure management. And if Microsoft tools are there, then the telemetry will be out of the box available. Third party, you have to be integrated. But however, this is really, let's say, a great product that you can really think about how you can really bring third party so attack surface management, as well as, from a Microsoft perspective to like that. There are a lot of blog articles available. I wish you will get the slides as well. And of course, insights about the product itself and so forth. Hopefully it was useful for you, to get the exposure management insights, because typically, as I mentioned, right, next step for a customer when they have Defender for Cloud in usage or Microsoft products and whatever, to bring the both worlds, cloud, on-prem, and even from an IoT perspective together, it could really help to really have a kind of a risk-based approach on the attack surface. This was actually kind of the summary. Maybe some questions if you are looking for here to be here.
A lot of organizations have large multi-cloud deployments, and in the past, the Defender for Cloud offering was not really that great at covering AWS services and some of the GCP platform services. I'm wondering how that coverage is expanded
in the last year or so, and what you can bring into this platform, because it looks like it's something that a lot of organizations struggle with, to do this kind of exposure management, attack surface mapping. So it's great to see it in there, but I'm just curious to know, for sort of multi-cloud platform environments, what kind of coverage do you bring? I mean, from the multi-cloud perspective, we have some offerings available. We have in the area of cloud security posture management. This is the area we invested heavily in the last year, to really look how we can get, first of all, visibility, not just in Azure, also AWS and GCP. And then, of course, discovering the assets, the cloud workloads, and mapping them with the vulnerabilities, mapping them with the misconfigurations, and then really giving the customer kind of a risk-based approach on the risk what they have on multi-cloud security. And there's a product available. It's called Cloud Security Posture Management, and there we are heavily invested the last years to expand also the AWS GCP, and we worked really heavily on the agent-less capabilities, that you don't need to use agents, to get vulnerabilities. As an example, on the VMs what you are running in your environment, container images, container self, as well as like as an example for the other areas what we are looking. This is really growing, of course, based on the demand, and we are expanding. Cloud security posture management should be the first step what should look to get visibilities and so on. And then, of course, then you can think about how you can protect the workloads. We are expanding the capabilities. We have it today available, actually, right? We can protect the VMs, container, then SQL databases in other clouds, and then, of course, we are thinking to grow in for the other workloads as well. And this is really the heavily investment from Microsoft in that space. We are looking forward. And of course, the exposure management is bring all the stuff here together. Maybe you are using a third-party product, then you have the opportunity to bring maybe Microsoft and third-party here also together. Cool, thank you. You're welcome. Any other questions or any highlights you want to share?
Alp, thanks for joining us today, and thanks for presenting tons of information. That was really awesome to go through. I think as far as SIEM goes, it's going to be something that's very important for companies to actually adopt and look at. It's going to give them a lot of more exposure to what's actually happening in their environment versus just looking at Defender alerts and things. Also, some updates for you guys that's actually on the call that's still here. Just some things from Ignite. I know that the exposure management was one of the things we were going to cover, which, thanks to Alp, it was covered in great detail. There's other things that came out from Ignite that you might want to know about, such as Defender for Endpoint. As you go to deploy the agent to new devices, there's actually a unified agent that's being released. That unified agent is going to actually work for Purview, Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Identity, also Defender for Server, and go across those. That's kind of what they're actually presenting those pieces for that unified agent. It's also going to wrap into OT as well. So keep that in mind as you continue to look at what Microsoft's actually doing for bringing everything into kind of a single pane of glass, or also trying to reduce how much is actually going on your devices at the same time, to make sure that things actually operate smoothly. The other thing to look at, if you're not already using it, Defender for Office, there is a lot of updates for Defender for Office. One of the big ones is the advanced phishing detection that they're actually doing. So being able to capture QR codes, things like that come across from email, along with Teams and other sources, and actually filtering those through to make sure that they're actually safe links. And then also into the threat intelligence area that Microsoft has actually built out. So tons of innovation there. Just know that as we go into this next year, Wafa and I will be trying to put things into the Defender user group just to make sure that there's at least short snippets, links to other articles, because I'm not going to rewrite an article that somebody else has already written a great article on. But I will be happy to provide those and stuff to help you guys actually see what all is actually going on. And thanks out for sharing the book of news. If you guys have not seen this is everything that was released at Ignite as far as things that were discussed and topics of upcoming news. Very useful, very helpful. Feel free to use F3 on this because it's a ton of information. It's a very long blog. When you use F3 on the Explorer or the browser, rather, you can actually go through and search for certain topics that you're more concerned with. Tons of things on Copilot that is the primary focus, of course, in Microsoft. If you do have Copilot and you're using it, go on and try it out with Teams. There's some multilingual features within Teams, along with being able to recap meeting transcriptions to know what's actually been requested or asked and everything. So go on and try all those out. It makes my life a lot easier. Hopefully it'll make your guys' life a lot easier as well. But thanks again, everybody, for attending Defender User Group. Wafa, if you want to go on and pop up the last poll for us, we can go on and do that. Guys, it's been exactly 1 year. Thanks for helping us reach this milestone of having 400 users actually join the group. If there's content that you guys want to take and see, if there's things that we could do differently to help improve, we're all ears. We're ready to listen because we want to make 2025 even a better year than 2024 was. All right. So no negatives. So we're good. So